Hi, and welcome to Make It Monday! I'm Holly. I am your lead librarian for the North Muskegon branch. All of our programs are still coming to you virtually, including our craft programs. So I hope you can all join me today, because today we are going to make a book birdcage. Yes, it looks a little complicated. I assure you, it's not as hard as it looks. So first, we are going to go over what we need to actually make this, and most of this stuff that you are going to have in your house. First, we need a book that you no longer want. I know, take a deep breath. We're damaging a book. It's okay. It's going to a better place. We need a ribbon. Any kind of ribbon will work. We need a whole bunch of these pins. I like using the pearl pins because they are just nicer. You can use regular pins if that works for you too. You need some kind of wire. I have the craft wire that I use. You can also, if you don't have craft wire at home, take a coat hanger and bend it into shape. I like to have about 12 inches just in case I mess anything up. So you should be able to do that with one coat hanger. We also need hot glue gun. And we need glue sticks for the hot glue gun. And we need you have several options to do the flowers on these. You can either do them with book pages, you can do them with light cardstock, you can do them, I bought 2 flower-shaped craft punches to do my flowers with, and I just use regular colored paper for that. Or if you want to go the super easy route, you can go to the dollar store and grab a bunch of the artificial flowers and just glue those on instead of the paper flowers. So we're going to get started with our very first step, which is folding the book into this shape. Now to do that, you're going to take your book, you're going to rip the cover completely off it. I know, deep breath, it's going to be okay. It's just one book. And then once you get that off there, you are going to take it and you're going to kind of squish the spine. And squish it a lot because you're going to want it so it ends up in that circular shape. And once you've got it where it's pretty flexible and it can bend all the way around like that, then you're going to start folding your pages. You're going to take the page and you're going to fold it right down to the spine. So you have that kind of triangular shape. And then your second fold is you're going to take the page again and fold it to the spine again. So it looks like that. And you're going to go through the entire book like that. And eventually you will start seeing the shape form into like the circular birdhouse pattern here. And you're going to have to kind of run your fingernail along it so they lay down. Sometimes I take a clip and I clip the ones I've done together so they'll stay together in shape and out of the way. So you just keep going and you're going to do the entire book. And you see eventually they have that fold together just like this. And once you go through the whole book, it's going to end up looking like this. So then you're ready to start putting all your pretty stuff on it. Next, we'll go back to the flowers. Like I said, there's multiple ways to make these flowers. I had, for these, 2 different size craft punches. I had a bigger one and then a smaller one, so I just did like a billion of these, and then I put them together in 3 layers and put a pin through them. And then eventually you end up with a whole bunch of them. There's also the method if you want to do like the rose type, which are these. You can do these either with cardstock or with book pages. And these are actually pretty easy to make too. They don't look like it, but they are. So how you're going to make those is you're going to draw a spiral on your page. And you want to leave it so it has enough room for you to get in there and cut, and so it's not too skinny. And I'll hold this up once I get the spiral done so you can see what it looks like. This is light cardstock that I'm doing this on right now, but you can also just do this on regular book page. I'll do one of those too so you can see what the book roses look like. And you're just gonna do it till you can't go any further. So it's gonna look like that. And then you cut the whole thing out. Also, if you have a Cricut, you can do these on the Cricut. There's a pattern on there that has kind of the wavy flower. That's how I did the flowers on the example, was with my Cricut at home. And that is much easier because you just slip it in there and it does all the work for you. There are many, many flower patterns on Cricut that you could use for these. And I always do the Cricut ones with the light cardstock. If you're doing multiple flowers, I recommend doing one spiral and then like stacking 6 pages underneath it and then just cutting 6 out at once. It's a lot faster, but since I'm just doing this one for the example, I'm just going to do the one right now. Okay, so it's going to look like one big long spiral when you're done. And you're going to go to the end with the point, and you're just going to start rolling it up. And once I get it started, I like to just stick it between my 2 fingers like that and roll it. It's easier for it to keep its shape that way when you're rolling. Otherwise, it comes undone and flies all over the place. And when you're getting towards the end, then I just wrap the last couple around there. And then you're going to have this piece still sticking up. You just take your rose and you put a big old blob of glue in there like that, and then you just press that piece down, press it from the top. It's hot glue, so it'll hold pretty much instantly. And then you have your rose with the cardstock. And same thing with the book paper. This will take less time because it's smaller and it's paper. You just do the swirl. And I also stack multiples of these too, so it goes a lot faster. So it looks like that. And these will be smaller flowers, but that's okay. If you want bigger ones, you just need to get a bigger book. Okay, you start at the pointy end and you just roll it, just like you did the cardstock. Okay, and then when you get to the end, just like the other one, you put a blob of glue on there and you press down that piece that was left over. And then you have your book flower. I have a piece of glue stuck in it. And they look like that. They're just smaller. Ooh, glue strings everywhere. So it really depends which method you want to use and what kind of flowers you want to use. If you're doing the paper cut method, with the paper punch, I've got about 40 of these. Really, how many you want on there, you can have a few, you can do the whole thing with flowers. It's completely up to you. I like to do a mix of the cardstock ones and the paper ones. So next, we're going to do our ribbon. And I just have one roll of ribbon here. So you're gonna take, I would say, probably about 12 inches of ribbon. And you're just gonna put a little glue on one end here and fold it in half, because this is going to be what you're hanging it from. So how much ribbon you use really depends on how long you want your hanging piece to be. And then you just put it together like that, and then put another shot of glue on the outside, and you just open it up and push it right in there. And then you have your hanging piece. It goes right in that hole in the top. Just open it up wherever the book opens up and glue it in there. And then next we're going to want our ribbon that goes around the top and the bottom. So usually I like to just kind of wrap it around and do just slightly more than you think you need. It also depends on the size of book that you're using. You can use any size book that you want for this. This came from a trade paperback. You can use the mass market size that I was showing you the fold on, or you can use a full-size hardcover book. It really just depends on how big you want your birdcage. So I've got a piece that's gonna go around there, and then you just start gluing along, like you see on this one, along the upper edge. I'll start this way. Just put a piece of glue on there and stick it on there. And then you're gonna go like every little bit, you put a little bit more glue and stick it on the pages. And you're gonna do this on the top and on the bottom. And you're gonna wanna take a look every once in a while just to make sure that you're not like off center on it or anything. And then when I get back to where it matches up with the other ribbon, I do just a little bit to overlap it, and then I cut that extra piece off in the back and then glue the rest down so it doesn't stick up. Ah, my glue stick ran away from me. Okay. And just a little dot on there. So there's the back side where I just finished, and it just looks like it blends in. You can't really even see where I stopped. You're going to do the exact same thing to the bottom. The bottom's a little bit harder because you're running into the table when you're doing it, but that's okay. So just like you did with the top, go around it. Leave yourself just a little bit more than you need, just in case. So we need about there. Cut out that raggedy edge. And you're going to go do the same exact thing on the bottom. And try to get it so it goes to the very bottom, so there's no, so you can't see any page at the bottom. Alright, so once you got your top and your bottom ribbon on, then we get to put our little birdcage part on with the wire. So the wire, I got my wire tangled up here. Probably about that long. And I like thinner wire because you can cut it with scissors. You're gonna do it in kind of like an egg shape at the top. Actually, what you can do is start at one end and just kind of make it a circle at first and just loop that around. And you're just gonna push that piece so it's just a circle, because you can shape it into the cage shape once you've put it into the circle shape, depending on how big you want that. And then I like doing like a second piece here, so the top has a little bit more, or where the bird sits has a little bit more to it. And you just wrap it around. Also, wire is pretty forgiving. If you're like, wow, I made that really huge, I don't want my bird sitting on a perch bigger than the bird cage itself, it's fine. Okay. Ooh, I actually like it like that. Yeah, that's a little big. So, like I said, it's a little too big. You just unwrap your wire, make it a little smaller. Actually, it'll be faster if we'll edit that part out too, because I'll just do it with another piece. Otherwise, I'll be here untying that wire all day. And we got another one to tape, so we don't want to do that. Here, let me do this. Okay. I'll save that for a bigger one. You can also use a twig for this. If you want to go get a bendable twig outside, if you don't have wire, that works too. You're just probably going to have to tie the twig up so it doesn't come loose. So then you end up with a kind of little ovally shape for your little bird to sit on. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to hot glue it right onto the front. And yes, it is going to look a little messy, but the good thing is you can cover up any mess you make by decorating it with flowers. So you're kind of just going to, let's see, where am I going to put this? Let me do this way where the bird's on the bottom. I'm going to go with the thicker piece here. Put a blob on that corner, and a blob on that corner, and some along the top. And I'm just going to hold it onto my bird cage until it dries. Also, if it's not sticking very well, you can hold the wire right up there and put the glue right over top of the wire so it stays. This may take you a couple tries. And you're going to have to hold it on there for a minute so it has time to dry on there. It's kind of hard to do this step and have it stick right away because of the folds in the page. So you might not be hitting that glue right on where the page is. I've got like a whole glue stick's worth of glue stuck to my thumb. I'm gonna put, you can go along too if you see it's like a little wobbly in places, and put your glue on there. But yeah, it looks a little messy because of the glue. You can still see the glue, but that's fine. So once you get your little outline on there, you get your bird. This bird came from the dollar store. There's a ton of these at Dollar Tree in the craft aisle. I like the cute little ones, like the little blue guy on here. It has it so this little piece is facing this way, and normally I pull those out and face them so they're this way, so they hook right on the wire and the bird doesn't look like he's sitting funky. So you just take it out, and you might even be able to slide it right back in the hole because this is styrofoam. Yeah, there we go. I put it on backwards. I want it this way. Make sure when you put it back in that the claw piece is facing towards the back of the bird so his head's facing into the front. And then you just pin him on there wherever you want your bird to sit. Here, he can sit right on this wire right here. Okay, so your bird is hanging on his perch. Your final step is to start putting in your flowers. And I like to do it like you see here in a shape where it kind of starts this way and then curves around. Like I said, if you have visible glue here, put a flower over it. It'll cover up anything that looks weird. So I'm just going to glue that right on top there. And then you can't see the glue mess that's holding on the bird cage. So once you do all your pins, you just start randomly sticking them in. I like to start with the bigger ones first and kind of place them around. We'll do one at the top here. And that way, as you're working your way down and you kind of see where it's looking a little bare, then you can put more of these kind of flowers in there. Now let's do one over here. So yeah, I'm just going along and I'm randomly gluing them on. Be generous with your glue so they don't fall off. The cardstock is kind of heavy, so you're going to want to put enough glue on there for it to hold. Let's do one right there. And I'm going to do one more right there. So I've got my big roses on there. Then I'm going to take all my little flowers, and it's nice with the pins, you just push them in and it's pretty forgiving because if you don't like your placement, you pull it back out and move it. And it's also nice, you're kind of just wanting to cover up the book page. And you're just pushing them in. I like to put a few along the bird cage too. The bird likes his flowers. And like I said, if you want to fill the whole top of this thing with flowers, you can do that. You can do like I've did and just kind of do a waterfall of flowers down the side. You can just do a few flowers if you think it'll look better with just a few. And I just keep putting them in there. And I'll turn it around in a second once I'm done poking all these in here so you can see what it looks like. And I like to make it so these paper flowers are kind of sitting in behind these roses if they have to overlap. There we go. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of my book cage, maybe one more right here, and one more right there. Let me turn it around and see what it looks like. And maybe one more right there. Come on, get in there. Okay, so once you've got all your flowers on, then it looks like that. And once you've got all your flowers on, you're done. Like I said, you could also use these and just glue them on if you just want the artificial flowers, but it is much, much easier than it looks like. It's a little time consuming, but it's easy and it's cute and all your friends are going to want one. So thanks for joining us for this craft. We will have more crafts. You can check out our calendar at madl.org to find all of our upcoming programs. We do have a ton of them going on for you this fall. So please check us out, and we will see you next time for Crafting Monday.